Good day. Thank you for joining me for another Atari 8-bit gameplay video. Just getting my joypad out here. I've loaded up a game called Space Eggs by Sirius Software and programmed by Nasir in 1981, or released in 1981. So I don't know anything about this. However, based on this screen, I'm going to say it's probably a shooter. Oh, what do we got here? This looks like Moon Cresta, or at least something very similar to Moon Cresta. So, is this starting? Oh, keyboard, joystick, paddle. Oh, interesting. There we go. All right, nice and colorful selection screen there. The color scrolling through the selection box. It's active, and all right, here we go. Absolutely Moon Cresta. Oh, except you can only go left and right. I'm trying to remember now if in Moon Cresta you could go up and down. Maybe not. Oh, well, that was weak on my part. So now I get the middle section, which has 2 shots, presumably. And I'm back on the same level from the start. Boy, it feels a little cramped, to be honest, compared to the arcade game, which is a different orientation and also smaller sprites and things. Relatively smaller. Interesting, challenging. And here's the great big one, which also is a double shot. You can, I forget how that works, you can stack the sections at some points of the game. Of course, the bigger, fatter your ship is, the easier it is to get hit. Especially in this kind of a setup where, darn, game over. Those space eggs got the better of me. I don't think this is one that I ever came across in the days when I had my own Atari. So there's no other options, I don't think. Yeah, just a selection of controls, and that seems to be it. All right, I have another crack at it here. Doesn't have the music. Graphics are all right. Sound effects are minimal. Well, they're okay, I guess. They're not exactly, crap. They're not exactly abundant sound effects. My goodness. I guess I could try to play a little more conservatively, but I didn't really feel like I was being that aggressive about it. So let me see if I can get anywhere here. But oh boy. Also one shot at a time. I'm not sure if that's true of the arcade. It might well be. The double shot certainly helps if you can live long enough to get further into it. Here we are, wave 3. 45 points per egg, or per bad guy. Oh, come on. So the collision detection is maybe a little on the weak side. Pretty sure that shot went more or less right through one of the guys there. New high score. Oh, 30. Okay, I wasn't really paying attention. 45, so I got to that round, and then the 4th round is 80 points per baddie. We hate those baddies, don't we, folks? Movement is a little, not the player movement, but the space eggs and baddies movement. There's a pattern there or not? It feels a little janky, which I guess it is. Oh, you run out of screen a little sooner than I would have expected as well. Yeah, yeah, right there and right there. Because the star field goes quite a bit outside of that range, which is interesting. So if you die on a level, you have to start the level over again. Oh, see. Will they come and collide with you? I guess when your ship is full size. Oh, no, you still can't get to the edge. Will they come and collide with you, or will you sit? Can you sit forever? Looks like maybe you can just sit. Is that a strategic thing to be aware of? No, once they're hatched out, they'll come lower. Okay, that might actually be... Might be able to exploit that to get farther into the game, actually. If you try to be careful about your shooting. There's a certain amount of luck involved, but if you can sort of get used to the movement patterns of the bad guys, which I feel like maybe you can, and you're a bit conservative about how many of them you sort of hatch out at once. See, right there was an example of, yeah, collision detection not really doing much. Well, this is all right. It's not... I don't know if you have the... Oh, did I press start? I don't feel like I pressed start. Anyway, I was going to play again anyhow, so that's fine. So yeah, if you just sort of hatch out one or two at a time, assuming I can actually hit one of these guys, so as opposed to just sort of firing willy-nilly. Yeah, so the bullets, I don't know. And once you're in the corner there, you're in trouble. Did I not get past? What is going... Oh, is this a... What's happening here? Oh, okay, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what my confusion was. I'm not sure why I'm back on level 1, or did I just not get past level 1? I guess I didn't. Too busy talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So you gotta try pretty hard not to get caught in the corner. Yeah, I'm getting actively worse again. I would kind of like to get through, or at least to wave 4, but I'd kind of like to get through all the waves and see if there's anything like where you can stack the ships, which is sort of implied by this, and the fact that it's the ships in the game itself are very similar to Moon Cresta. I should look up and see what year Moon Cresta was from. Presumably before this. Moon Cresta had a very distinctive sound sequence as the player ship was coming onto the field that a lot of people remember. A lot of people my age who were interested in video games would remember, arcade games. Okay, so they just seem to move up and down, more or less. They don't seem to actually have much of a range side to side. So once you open up one of those guys, if you sort of stay out of its... If you don't get trapped in the corner and you stay out of its... oh, it moves over and then takes its up and down range, it looks like. Interesting, okay. So if I'm careful, I should theoretically be able to exploit that. Oh, unless these guys change their pattern. Ah, crumbs. Not careful enough. Oh, you start back on wave 1 with each ship. That's what, okay, so that's actually what had confused me before. Because I feel like I was past wave 1 and then you lose a man and you're back, or player I should say, and then you're back on wave 1 again, which that's kind of goofy, to be honest. Yeah, basic. I don't know if I would have been disappointed with this back in the day. Probably not. Probably not. although I would have probably hoped not to have spent very much money on it. All right, well, I didn't make round 4 because you start back on round 1 every time. Yeah, again, a lot of these early games. Well, so that wasn't bad. I mean, it's I don't know what to say about it. It's okay. This screen actually implies that you can stack your ships at some point, but I'm not sure if that's true. Yeah, all right. I don't really feel like I have a desire to play this one any further. Video's not that long, but long enough to have a good look at the game, I think. There's maybe more depth to it, but I guess I'm unlikely to find out. So if you do play this and or are familiar with it and you know there's more depth to it, let me know. Like, for example, can you in fact stack your ships at any point in the game? Is that a thing that can happen? Is there any kind of like bonus rounds, or is there any enemies beyond round 4, etc.? That kind of thing, different enemies. If you have any insider knowledge or just experiential knowledge, let me know. Send me a comment or write me a comment rather, or I don't know if there's any way to message me from YouTube. Probably not. So anyway, write me a comment. What the hell? It's going to do it for my look at Space Eggs from 1981 by Sirius Software and Nasir. So thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.